Rohan, congratulations. How pleased are you with that game and that performance?
Yeah, it was a quality performance, I think, to sort of shut out a high-performing team that's won a lot of games this year and very well credentialed. We didn't give them an opportunity at the game really. It was a good hard-fought game for the most part, but once we got hold of the scoreboard, we didn't give them a look in, which was really pleasing. I thought we defended very well in the first half, particularly. Second half we scrambled hard and showed a lot of effort. Probably not as technically sound defensively, but the spirit and the energy and the effort and the fitness was all on show.
On those sort of effort plays, it seemed right until the last minute, I think, when Matty Ashton had the ball on that wing, then McDonald came back and took him. Was that one of the real outstanding points tonight, just those effort plays as well?
Yeah, similar to last week. The last play of the game was a scrambling effort to finish it off, and the only try scored tonight was somewhat questionable, at least you would have to say. I really liked the scramble. At the end there, we'd actually taken Aidan Caesar off there. He was just carrying a bit of a knock with a couple of minutes to go. We took him off, so we were doing that scramble with 12 men as well. So it was pleasing, not surprising, but pleasing, and they're a good bunch down there. Yeah, pleased.
That your spine's obviously been disrupted at times this season, but that's you've had Richie Myler, Austin and Caesar in the house last week and then this week. Are they really starting to gel, and are we seeing how you want them to play now?
Yeah, there's been passages in the last few weeks of sort of sequences of plays where I think that's what we need it to look like, and the team wants it to look like, but it's also not just about the spine. I think the recent sort of form of the spine has coincided with some of our best and biggest ball carriers being back and available and doing just that with real force. And I think the spine have certainly had a key part to play in how the team has performed, but the team has also had a really important part to play in how the spine has performed. We've taken care of the ball much better, but I'd suggest that we're still playing a good style, but we've respected possession a bit more, and our play selection has been good. And when that happens, we can challenge other teams.
Just on that, it seems like there's some really big efforts from some of the forwards, Sam Lasone, Sam Walters, to name just a couple, in speeding up that play of the ball as well, which then obviously allows Blake and Aidan to do their thing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people talk about forwards getting the roll on it and whatnot, but I think in most teams it's generally the outside backs. Fusatua being back the last 2 weeks, he's a proper handful every carry, and McDonald back tonight as well, and on the back of Ash Handley carrying it, he's not as big as those guys, but he carries it with the same force. And then the Reece Martin break out of our own end was a big play in the game as well. So the backfield carries is a real strength of ours, and then Walters and Lasoni and Leletsky and Holroyd on the back of that, and Donaldson and Smith with their sort of quick feet. And it's been a real team performance getting out of our end, and it's our forwards are combining, as you see with the last try as well. So there's some nice things happening there.
Tom Holroyd was back as well tonight. Do you think he picks up where he left off before his injury?
Yeah, I think so. A good solid game for Tom tonight. It's been, 3 or 4 weeks with the break. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head, but he's come back and done a good solid job. It was important that he did that. Justin's been doing us a good job, but with Justin missing tonight, we were well and truly compensated with Tom's performance.
Thanks, Ron.
You must have been pleased with how clinical you were that first 15 minutes. Warrington had the ball down there but didn't create anything. I think you scored 3 tries out of 3 chances, really. Yeah,
I like how we played with control coming out of our end, but that actually resulted in points. I watch a lot of rugby league, and I'm not quite sure why teams wait until they get down the other end. A lot of teams are excellent at defending their goal line because you have more people in the line. The ref lets people be offside, so it's hard to attack there. So I liked how we generated things from further out, which is what you need at times. But it was really composed footy on the back of good defence.
I know it's a night run where you could go through pretty much the whole team and praise them, but James McDonald, I think his tackle count was 42. There was a really important one on Matty Ashton in the first half. I mean, are we starting to see why you guys brought him to the club and him starting to fulfil that potential now?
I think round 3 he played his first game and he showed it right there. Away at St Helens when we were 0-2, he just jumped in and played 80 minutes straight off the bat against the defending champs. So he's been very consistent. He's a very team-orientated guy. He gets a bit frustrated at times because he's a good ball carrier, but he sometimes doesn't get the ball because McDonald and Fusatua are going to carry it in yardage. But he understands that's his job for the team sometimes to keep out of their way and do a great defensive job, and that's the way the game goes for us sometimes. And he's done that exceptionally well for pretty much every game this year. So he's a quality young bloke, confident but humble.
How is Aidan Caesar? Is it just precautionary?
I think so. Yeah, he just had a bit of a knock there, and at that stage, wasn't keen to bring him off until we'd used our interchanges a little bit earlier than we normally would tonight, based on trying to keep our middle really, really strong and big most of the time to try and combat the Warrington middle. So once the game was sort of decided on the scoreboard, officially, not fans decided, but with 3 or 4 minutes to go there, they couldn't win. I just decided to play with 12 for that passage.
And talked about you could probably go for every play, but Sam had a really good stint in the middle. I think he raced on with that Richie Myers try. I think it was a set piece where he went and passed the ball. Sam, massive game for him, and he's getting better as the season goes on.
Yeah, I think people are very quick to judge. By his own admission, started a bit slow, but it's hard. You've been in the NRL, living in New Zealand and Australia for your whole life, to come the other side of the world, to be living out of a suitcase, trying to find a house to live in, waiting for your partner to arrive, all that sort of stuff. Like, it's a big shift. The weather's different, all that stuff. But he's played really well up until his injury. He was really finding some form, and then he's bounced straight back into it. He did a really good job on his rehab. He was out for 4 weeks. He came back fitter and lighter. He's got skill. He's a character. He's starting to show that character in the group, and the boys love playing with him. He was determined to be assertive and aggressive when Casiano got the ball, and that was his real focus. But it was nice to see his sort of pet play. He's that little combo play, and he found the right one.
Did Jared O'Connor play about 70 minutes before he got his first break?
A little bit more even. Yeah, I was disappointed in one way that I didn't get Corey out. I couldn't find a time to get Corey out there. I thought the real key to keeping our defence strong was to be big when we needed to be big when Warrington were in the middle unit there, but to be really strong and physical in the middle there with Warrington, who got some really elusive and strong, wiry outside backs as well. So I found it hard to get Corey on there because I was rotating the other bigger guys. But Corey's done us a really good job in recent weeks. So it's just the way it went a little bit. But Jared was tremendous. His dummy half play was really solid tonight, and his effort and his energy to his D is always there.
There'll be inevitable comparisons with the run you went on this time last year. I'm assuming you don't see it that way.
I don't see it that way until after the run. And even last year, I haven't really reflected on that yet. Recruitment starts the day after your last game, or the planning for the next season starts after your last game for a coach. It's important that we dust off. We've reminded ourselves that we can play well back-to-back weeks. But the next task against Salford is going to be a big one. They're a different threat altogether, and at their place on a Sunday arvo, that's going to be a tough gig.
Is Blake Austin putting forward a strong case for a new deal on his terms?
Blake's put a case, all season. Recruitment and retention are they're always big decisions, and it's important for both parties to find the right timing with that. So Blake's played well the last couple of weeks, and so's the team. So those decisions are always difficult. We'll keep working through them.
You're still hopeful of a positive outcome with that?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'm always. I'm not a. I wouldn't say I'm a positive or a negative guy. I'm somewhere in between. Blake's still well and truly in our thoughts, but there's lots of pieces to the puzzle that have to fit, and for everyone, for both parties, it has to be the right terms and conditions as well. So, we'll keep working through our whole recruitment and retention strategy.